Hello everyone, welcome back to another reading, and today's reading is going to be about discipline and freedom. So sometimes we feel like we need to discipline our mind to do stuff that we have to do, and sometimes we want to be free-spirited and we just want to live the day by what we want to do. So the souls told me that is what today's video is going to be about, how to balance that, and just these two feelings. We will see. So interesting though. Okay. So, yeah. So I can sense that on the inside, we are quite soft. We are very sensitive people. We are very, our soul is very soft, very sensible. And in the world that we live in, it's kind of difficult sometimes to live that sensibility. When you want to cry and you cry, even if it's just, a stupid reason, as we would call it, we get told off. Like, why are you crying over something like that? Or when we cry because we are happy, sometimes that's like, oh, that's so cute, but sometimes that's it lets us seem a bit weak. And in this world we live in, it's kind of the goal to be seen as a strong, confident person, especially as a woman. And I can feel that many of us have actually cut that side off from who we are. Not to be sensible at all, not to let our feelings have the space to unfold and to be felt and to be lived. And the sensibility especially. I can definitely feel that's something that many of us ignore or try to suppress, try not to live. And actually, our souls want to tell us that that's not the way to go, because that makes us hard. It makes our heart hard. It makes it more difficult to love and to be loved. Sometimes maybe that feeling when people come towards you and are very friendly with you, and you just cut off. You just don't feel comfortable with them at all, and you feel way more comfortable with people who build walls like you. I have a video on that. But that's hurting us way more than it is protecting us. Cutting off this sensible side we have doesn't do us any good. It makes us really hard. And that's a free-spirited mind I talked about earlier. Because our sensible side really doesn't want to get caged by anything or anyone. Our sensitive side is very free, and it wants to love, live, do whatever we want to do, because as soon as something restricts us, it takes discipline to still do it. And I do not have a very good relationship with discipline. But I do know that the discipline I know is not the discipline the spiritual world is talking about. because the discipline I know is this acting against my will, doing something that at this very moment I definitely do not want to do, or at any given moment. And the discipline the spiritual world is talking about is a not toxic discipline. It's this, I do something, I continue doing something, for example, even though it makes me feel not that good at the moment, but I do want to do it. You know, for example, let's say, in my opinion, very good example, meditating. You know, maybe you do meditate and you have realized that whenever you feel a certain way, you feel that meditating will help you. And so for me, it's actually very difficult when I'm like very nervous, doing stuff, really just living my day, and then I'm like, okay, and now I'm going to meditate. And at this very moment, I may not really want to meditate, because meditating requires me to calm down, to settle down, and to let thoughts be thought. And that sometimes makes me feel very uncomfortable, because that's something I have constantly done over the years to, you know, some thoughts just don't need room in my head. But that's not the way they're going to go away anyway. So what I want to say is that even though I may not feel the best at the moment I sit down and decide to meditate, I do know that it will do me good. And I know that all that I am kind of trying to overcome is this feeling of not wanting to think. And I personally want to change that feeling into a positive feeling, which is I'm letting my thoughts room. I let them be there. And so this discipline the spiritual world is talking about is a healthy discipline. It is not something that makes us mad or sad, but it is something that makes us feel good afterwards. And sometimes we need to balance these two things. The sensibility that we really want to be free and live free and do whatever we want to do. And then this discipline that we know what is good for us, even though we may not really want to do it at the very moment, this very moment. And these are like two feelings that are actually very similar, but they're not. It's difficult to balance them. When is the right moment to do what? And the spiritual world is saying that that is very much in our hand. Whenever you feel like, oh, I know that I have to do that in order to get this and that will do me good. So I need to be disciplined, but I really don't want to do it at the moment. Then you don't. Just don't do it. But if you feel like, I know that when I do this, it's gonna do me well in the future. And I kind of can do it at the moment. It's not like I really want to, but I feel motivated to do it because I know it's gonna do me good. Then do it. And I feel like for some of us, that's very much connected to the work we do. Sometimes we really need to force ourselves, right, to do something because we know that it's going to take us forward and that it's going to do us good. But there are moments that we really don't want to do it. And that's fine too. So you need to allow yourself the flexibility to decide whether you do something at the moment or not. Don't be fixed on discipline. That's a very important message. Don't restrict yourself too much, because that's not going to do you any good. As I said, the discipline that we need to learn is this: I do something because I know it's going to do me good in the future. I know that I'm going to profit from it, and it doesn't feel horrible at the moment to do that. I'm not this discipline of, I set that goal and so I need to do it. That's an unhealthy discipline. That's you trying to get satisfaction from getting things done. And that will make you feel good, because then you're gonna lose the love to the things you do, because you just do them so they are gone, you know. You, for example, I don't know, you have a to-do list, right? And you just want to tick them, just want to tick the tasks, but you don't do the task because you want to do it, or because it makes fun, or because you know it's going to do you well. No, you just do it so you can make a little tick at the end of the day. And for me, and that's the message I'm getting, that is how do I call it? I don't want to say unhealthy discipline. It just makes you lose the love to what you do, because you only want to get over with it. So really sit in the moment, decide whether you need to, follow your feelings at the moment, live the sensibility you have, or if you should do this or that because you know that that it is good for you. You need to decide that. And you can always do that when you settle down. Sit down, think about it for a moment, and then you will get your answer. And you can even, I really encourage you to try meditating if you have difficulties feeling yourself, feeling what is the right choice at the moment, making choices in general, because that requires you to go inside. And because many of us have built this wall, going inside is a very well, it is something that some of us have not done for quite a while. And so maybe meditating is a good idea for you. Yeah, so I really hope that you got answers from this reading, that this reading helped you, and that's today's message. Thank you very much for letting me talk to your soul. Bye-bye.